the Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Prime Minister, Leader of the Opposition, fellow members of Parliament, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Ambulavinaka, a very good morning to you all. I rise to inform this August House on the historical milestone for our nation, the final report on the functional status of the Fiji law and justice sector, and the law and justice sector roadmap for reform 2025 to 2029, both officially launched at Fiji's first ever Justice Summit held last week on Wednesday at the Crown Plaza in Nandi. The inaugural Justice Summit, hosted by the Ministry of Justice with the support from the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, brought together a diverse range of voices from across the sector, including members of the judiciary, the Office of the Attorney General, Fiji Law Society, Fiji Correction Service, law enforcement agencies, civil societies, Ministerial Turanga, development partners such as UNDP, UNICEF, SPC, and European Union. I also acknowledge the presence of the Minister for Immigration and the Minister for Information. It was without question a landmark occasion, one that reimagined Fiji's legal landscape under the theme from structure to service, justice for every Fijian. Madam Deputy Speaker, this was the first time ever in over 2 decades that such a comprehensive review of the law and justice system was undertaken. The summit marked not only the launch of not only 2 major national documents, the final report and the roadmap, but also a renewed commitment to rebuild public trust and strengthen collaboration across all arms of justice. The final report on the functional status of the Fiji law and justice sector is both sobering and helpful. It lays bare the systemic challenges that have long hindered the efficiency and accessibility of justice in Fiji. These include the structural fragmentation and unclear mandates, judicial inefficiencies and persistent case backlogs, digital infrastructure deficits, human resource constraints, limited community engagement, and legal awareness. The report revealed that 87% of Fijians are unable to access formal legal redress due to cost and complexity. It also noted outdated laws, with some dating back to 1879, and institutions operating in silos without adequate coordination. This is something that the Honorable Prime Minister emphasized yesterday, the silos syndrome that had persisted before we came in. Yes, it is also a story of resilience. Despite the challenges, our justice sector has continued to function through dedication, integrity, and sheer commitment of our people. The report now provides us with a roadmap to transform the resilience into reform and to move from coping to thriving. Madam Deputy Speaker, the Law and Justice Sector Reform Roadmap 2025 to 2029, endorsed by Cabinet, turns the finding of the report into clear, actionable priorities. It is structured around 7 reform pillars that collectively envision a modern, efficient, and people-centered justice system. The first is the justice system efficiency and backlog reduction. The second pillar is the anti-corruption and oversight. The third pillar is the registry and legal identity modernization. The fourth is the access to justice and legal inclusion, law enforcement and rehabilitation reforms, legislative reform and interagency coordination, and the last pillar is the community engagement and legal awareness. Each of these pillars represent not only a reform objective, but a promise that justice in Fiji will be fair, transparent, and accessible to all. Madam Deputy Speaker, the summit was marked by strong expressions of unity and collaboration. The Chief Justice, His Lordship Salisa Temo, in his remarks during the launch, acknowledged the historical significance of the roadmap and announced several judiciary-led initiatives, including e-filing pilots, AI transcription in High Court, criminal divisions, virtual hearings for maritime regions, and a 90-day disposal benchmarks for small claims and traffic cases. He reaffirmed that justice must be timely, accessible, and sensitive, ensuring no Fijian, whether in urban centers or remote island, is left behind. Similarly, in his closing address, the Assistant Minister for Justice, Honorable Ratu Tsusaya Nyundamu, reminded us that the reform is not optional. It is necessary. He urged all partners to uphold the spirit of solidarity, shared effort and shared purpose as we move forward together. The Justice Summit and the roadmap mark the beginning of a new chapter of Fiji's legal system, one that shifts our focus from structure to service, from institutions to people. The roadmap is not just a policy document, it is a living commitment to make justice human again, and to ensure that when a Fijian walks into a courtroom, registry, or police station, they feel respected, protected, and heard. Every Fijian, wherever they are, will be able to access services. In fact, Madam Deputy Speaker, the past Monday, the judiciary of the Fiji Court of Appeal announced and said for the first time in bar, the hearing of cases will continue till the 14th of this month. The President of the Court of Appeal says as court facilities outside Suva develop, the senior courts of Fiji will play its role in taking courts closer to the people. They say this is an effort to increase access to justice and send the message that the courts of Fiji is for all the people, not just those living in Suva. Chief Justice Alestemo welcomed the move and says that taking the Court of Appeal to Mba is a progressive step in making judiciary more accessible and inclusive. As we move forward, the Ministry of Justice will, 1, establish a Law and Justice Advisory Council to coordinate sector-wide implementation. 2, develop a digital performance dashboard to track progress and ensure accountability. And 3, partner with communities, civil society, traditional leaders, and to promote legal awareness and outreach. Strengthen collaboration with development partners, ensuring that Fiji's reform journey remains inclusive and sustainable. True reform takes time, perseverance, and partnership. It demands courage to acknowledge what has not worked and wisdom to chart a better path. But above all, it requires faith. Faith in our institutions, in each other, and in the Fijian spirit of resilience and unity. Madam Deputy Speaker, as we look ahead, let us remember that justice is not only a matter of law, but also a matter of trust and how fairly and compassionately we serve our people. The success of the Justice Summit 2025 and the launch of the Law and Justice Sector Roadmap are testament to what can be achieved when we work together across government, civil society, and development partners in a true solidarity spirit. The collaboration and commitment to signing a non-legally binding Justice Summit while law commitment by both government and non-government actors across the law and justice sector will be the document that continues to remind us that we are committed to working independently towards the common goal of transforming our justice system for all Fijians. Recognizing that our strength is in our independence, fairness, collaboration, and commitment within our agencies and across agencies. With hope and humility, we now embark on this journey of reform and renewal to build a justice system that truly delivers justice for every Fijian. Madam Deputy Speaker, as I take my seat, I take this opportunity to thank my team at the Ministry of Justice, led by Permanent Secretary Selina Kurleada, and the reports and roadmap compiled by DFAT consultant, former Ambassador Luke Daunivalu. I invite all members of this August House to view this video with us, the roadmap for our Justice Summit, the tangible outcomes, and specific measurables and commitment to ensuring the rule of law and separation of powers of government and access to justice for every Fijian. The video can be found in our Ministry of Justice website, our Facebook page, and also by searching the Ministry of Justice on your YouTube. Copies of the functional review status of the Law and Justice Report and the roadmap for the reform of law justice sector is available outside these chambers for each member and their ministry. And thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker.